Hey everyone, the sun is rapidly descending, so I'm going to try to film this pretty fast. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling. I know I'm late, but yeah, I took this up in the library, and it's due back in the library, like, tomorrow. So I gotta do this today. But yeah, I think I'll do a spoiler for you. I mean, I could go into more discussion thing at some point later on. I don't need to have the book in front of me to do that. Like, I have so many notes on this. And I did a full blog review, which is pretty spoiler-free on my blog, which you can go check out if you want. Actually, no, not totally spoiler-free, actually. Alright, my Goodreads review is completely spoiler-free. Go check that out if you want, if you haven't read it. If you have read it, go look at my blog post, which I'm going to have linked down below as well. But sum it all up, I enjoyed this play a lot. Like, I love plays in general. Like, I love theater, and so going into this, I was, like, really excited for it. I'm used to reading plays. I'm, like, read plays in all of my classes for years. So I'm used to reading plays and that kind of format. And I really thought with this play, before I go into anything else, I thought a lot of the stage directions and little cues in this were really interesting. I really couldn't help but think about how some of these scenes would be staged. Magic on stage is always a different thing, an interesting thing. There's always different ways to do magic on stage, and like took a class where we talked about magic on stage a lot, and I just could not help but be excited about the way I could imagine some of these things being staged. With a professional theater, definitely, like, but even if you were in a smaller theater, there's different ways you could pull off staging certain things in this that would still come across pretty well, and I was, like, really thought this must have been just, like, a really amazing play to actually see live. As for the story, the arc of the play, I love Albus and Scorpius as characters. You have two people who are constantly fighting against the legacies of their fathers. People have all these expectations of them because of their, Albus being Harry Potter's son and Scorpius being Draco Malfoy's. People are always expecting certain things of them because of their parents. It reminded me a little bit actually of The Isle of the Lost by Melissa de Cruz, where it's like the children of the villains. But like in Albus' case, his father was like a hero, but it's just people expecting certain things of them and them fighting against that and not really even knowing how to because there's something they've been dealing with their entire life. And I just thought that was really cool little journey that they took together, the journey they took as friends throughout this book, but then also the journeys they took individually. Like, this is, like, just at the end of this book, they're still going to be dealing with those legacies. It's something that's going to be hard for them to break away from, and I really like that. I really like that kind of arc of the play that went throughout all of this. I really enjoyed that a lot. As for the time travel, everything in the time travel wraps up in a way, like, everything fixes itself, which is what I want from a time travel book when people are messing with time. I want you to acknowledge the mistakes you made through time travel and then fix your mistakes or live with your mistakes. And I feel like everything in the end of this book gets fixed the way that it should be in the end. So that's what I really liked about I like the time travel in this. I like the way the time travel was handled in this, to be honest. By the end of it, I feel like there's things that have handled time travel way worse than the time travel in this book. Things that I've encountered recently in media have handled time travel worse, actually, than this. I really like the time travel in this as well. As for the Harry Potter characters, I feel like people will have some issues with the way things change, but I feel like all of this is very plausible and realistic for the world. I feel like when people get the issue with some of the alternate timelines that came up because of the time travel, because of this person wouldn't be like this, but you don't know that. Because here's the thing, when one little thing changes, it's not like that thing changed and caused this. It's like this thing changed, A changed and changed B, and that changed C, and that changed D, and that changed E, F, G, so on, and then this happened. Lots of things happen over that time frame. It's not just this changed and automatically caused this. That's not how time travel works in fiction. So yeah, but yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked Albus and Scorpius. I mean, I feel like most people have issues with where some of the other characters are. I like that we didn't get too much on all of the characters that we knew from Harry Potter, and that this story did focus on Albus and Scorpius a lot more, because that's what I kind of wanted from this going into it. So yeah, before the sun completely goes away, I love what the story did about family relationships, father and son relationships between Albus and Harry and Scorpius and Draco, but then also Harry and Dumbledore. You get to see these different relationships, and you see people acknowledging their mistakes, because just because a parent doesn't connect with you or because a parent makes a mistake doesn't make them a bad parent. And I feel like so people like, oh, Harry was a bad parent in this. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He had 3 kids and he couldn't connect to one of his kids, which is fine. You don't have to connect to your kids and understand your kid in order to be a good parent. Harry was protective of his kid. He loved his kid, and that's what makes a good parent. Like, he's a good parent. I don't know why people are getting off of him being a bad parent in this. I thought, especially because I liked that it addressed Harry's relationship with Dumbledore and mistakes made there and good and beautiful, and I really like that. So yeah, I wanted to mention that because I thought that was just like a beautiful message coming out of the story about family, and I thought that that's something people didn't really get from it. From what I've heard since I've written this review. I have some issues in the first act that I can't really pinpoint. I think it was just like the rapid progression of the years messed with the pacing a little bit for me. Like, I'm just not a big, let's skip this time, let's skip this to this year, let's skip to this year type person in any kind of fiction. And I think that messed with the pacing a little bit for me, but I'm assuming the pacing would be a lot better on stage because it is a play. So yeah, that was a little bit of an issue I had. There's a relationship foreshadowed at the end. There's a character that I hated, and I had no problem that I hate the character. I just hate that the book foreshadowed a character that I really liked being possibly like pursuing a relationship with that person in the future, because I'm like, no, you can do better than this person because I hate them. So that was a thing. I was just like, it also, that was a thing that not only that I didn't like, but it also broke the flow of the last couple of acts. Of the last couple of scenes. Yeah, I think it was like one of the last 3 or 4 scenes. It broke the flow there. And I was just like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why is this necessary? Why do we need to do this? It's completely unnecessary. So that broke the flow. There was little moments where the flow was broken in the play. And I just have to, like, as a person who has read something in a play form and then watched it on stage, I know that can be rectified in stage format. Where things will move a lot smoother. I think the play Arcadia is a good example of that, where I read it and I was like, there's some issues with flow, but like when I watched it on stage, it was amazing. And I didn't have that issue at all with the flow of things. So yeah, I mean, so I had those issues with pacing, but I didn't want to make that knock down my review at all, because I did figure that could be something that could be rectified in the stage production, which I haven't seen yet. So yeah, I ended up giving the book a 5-star. I think it was like between a 4 and a 5, and I knew that my like theater site was taking it down, so I ended up giving it a 5-star. Yeah, so the sun is pretty much gone. All right, that is it for this kind of review of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, John Tiffany and Jack Thorne's, really. But yeah, you guys tell me what you thought of it in the comments down below. I'd love to discuss it civilly. Not like the first comment that I got on my blog post, but I think I deleted it. That was a very rude comment. But yeah, talk about what you thought about it in the comments down below, please. And I will see you all in my next video. So, bye.